Alright guys, such a comic again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far, and as expected, the first day of the Challengers Elite Qualifiers certainly threw up some drama. ZooMaa not an especially happy man as to some of the things that were happening to the Stallions yesterday, and neither of the two Stallions teams are guaranteed to make it through to the Elite. In fact, only one of them can make it based on the way the bracket is currently lining up. That is still not a guarantee. Some big teams fighting today for those remaining spots. Lots to get into. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. We got plenty to get into. We're going to start here with the whole Lqgend stuff because we talked about it yesterday that Lqgend was stepping away, going back to France. They were under the impression that they would be able to get an emergency substitute in. Look, I think my perspective remains that there should have been a bit of common sense applied to this situation. But at the end of the day, there was talk from Swootey, as we saw yesterday, that no, Lqgend ain't coming back. Encouraged, though, was saying that he is. Now, not like he's coming back, but he was still there. So he decided, okay, he will play. And Attach talked about this. Attach actually did bring up the rule book and have a quick look at what this looks like. It's this line here, the 3.8a or 3.8.1 or whatever, which basically says teams participating must use the roster that they came up with before the lock, unless approved by the administration in writing. They pretty much, the rule book basically says if it's due to like travel or, you know, other reasons, it doesn't count. But again, it's like, there probably should be a bit of common sense applied to this situation. To say that while the rulebook might say one thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right decision, and there can be a conversation had on what should be the right decision in these type of instances. Benji actually called out the league on this one and said that, well, look, the FaZe admins, they're not necessarily doing the best job, but they are following the rules to an extent, at least in their interpretation of them as they are written. The question comes from whether the league, whether Activision, whether the real decision makers at the top of this chain could come in and say, you know what, this is a situation which is blowing up publicly. We should probably make a statement or have a talk about this, because they had a couple of days to make this decision. It's not like they needed to turn around the decision in 20 minutes. They had 2 days to make this call, and arguably they got it wrong. But at the end of the day, Lqgend decided to come back in. I know that there was some talk at all, could we get somebody else to play on Lqgend's account and all this. Attach was saying he would do it. That was probably never really going to happen, and I think there would be a lot of scrutiny, let's say, on Lqgend's play if it wasn't actually him. Anyway, it all gets underway yesterday. Lqgend comes back in for the Stallions for, of course, they will try to qualify, and then he will presumably go back home and they can bring in a replacement. So I guess that's the key piece of this timing anyway, going into the qualifier. Now, the big gamer of yesterday, apart from the guys that actually qualified, was Roblox Gamer. He was everywhere. I don't know how he's doing it, but he somehow is joining every single lobby under the sun. I think he was ruining some 8s lobbies the other day. Now, this guy is joining every lobby in this tournament when he gets the opportunity to do so. I'm not exactly sure how he's pulling it off. I think there was some talk that it's possible to actually ban specific users from private games. Again, does Roblox Gamer have an ult he can keep running up the same drama with? Possibly. But anyway, if a random joins the lobby and starts team killing, it's cooked, right? You're going to have to play the game again, kick the guy out of there, ban him from the lobby, whatever you've got to do. So the amateur players have to be more careful here about safeguarding against the Roblox Gamer in the future, but he was causing chaos yesterday, that is for sure. So you can see here he's joining this game with Dak and Flames against Kips, Neum, and those guys. Of course, that is the Huntsman, and we'll discuss them more in the coming minutes. But yeah, so Roblox Gamer was all over the place. He's certainly a key talking point. Now, ZooMaa was not very happy with the Huntsman guys. They were obviously streaming this stuff, but they were muting their comms, which is always a little bit controversial. Look, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's good to see the streams that were happening, and the Huntsman did go on to qualify, which is really the big job here, right? So there's 12 teams that qualify for the Elite. The Elite is then played over the coming weeks. They play, like, I think it goes into 2 groups of 6. They play round robin within those groups. The top 4 teams from those 6 groups, or from those groups of 6 teams, They go through to a double elimination playoffs. There's then a tournament for that towards the end of the month. There's an elite champion, etc, etc. The bottom 4 teams that don't make it out of the group, they get relegated. Then they have to fight back again in the stage 2 elite qualifiers, which comes up at the start of next month. So that's what we're fighting for here, really. And it's very important, these tournaments, for seeding in the immediate term, because if you go through to the elites, then you score a load of pro points. And that's a pretty big deal when it comes to seeding in later LAN events later in the year. Even for the Esports World Cup further down the line, this is also relevant because it's not immediately relevant in the sense that pro points don't qualify you to the World Cup, but what the World Cup qualifications are is based on performances at LAN events, and if you have better seedings to those LAN events, you're likely to do better, right? So qualifying for the elite is very important from a challenger's perspective. We've had cups so far, but this is the big one, really. The elite qualifier, getting yourself as one of those 12 teams, that's a very important step if you want to be a big deal in challengers this year. And of course, for many of the players, get noticed and get picked up to the Pro League, and we'll discuss that a little bit more later on today. Now, Doug sent to Martin, wow, what a character this guy is. So, Next Threat. Doug still plays for Next Threat. I think he's Next Threat Red, technically. But there was only one Next Threat team not long ago. The thing is with it is, Doug has always played for Next Threat. Every single iteration of Next Threat as a brand, Doug has played for. But a few weeks ago, the team that Doug was playing on, they dropped him. So he went and formed his own team, and he obviously wasn't very happy about that. And I think they dropped him for Stanley, but it's the Diamond Con and those guys. They dropped Doug, and now they've got a new roster. But they were still Next Threat, right? Because it was like, well, they're still kind of playing for us, and they're pretty good. And they've dropped Doug because he wasn't dropping the best numbers. So obviously it was maybe understandable, right? And they're looking pretty good, and they qualified very comfortably for the elite, and we'll get into that. But they did have to play Doug's team to get there, right? This is just a storyline for the ages, really. So both of the Next Threat teams played each other. You might think, typically, when an organization has 2 teams, of course, it's not like that serious. So there's not going to be too much talk from the league about, like, let's say, collusion or whatever. But usually you would expect, let's say the Stallions, red and black, play one another. Obviously, it's going to be very competitive, but it's not going to be probably massively drama-filled. It's, you know, the best man wins. Whereas in this case, there was a lot of drama here, right? Because Doug absolutely wanted to beat these guys. And I think this was game 1 of the series. Doug popped off, wins the map, and then has all kinds of trash to talk. In the end, it was the other team that got the win, but this was fantastic entertainment. So I'll share those clips in a second. There was also drama because the Stallions went up 80, and I mean, they're pretty much up 80 in this one. And then guess what? Roblox Gamer joins the lobby, and the game is cooked. So the big drama when it comes to admin decisions were about replays, because we had lots of instances like this of people joining the lobby, some game crashes and that type of stuff that raised questions on whether the map should be replayed or not. You're up 181 to 107. What's the correct call, right? Like, I think there are rules in the CDL now where if the team's combined points are like, I don't know, 300 or something, then the game is set in stone. But I still think there's a bit of discretion on this one, and it's always a problem that can happen. I mean, this was the key one, really, when, as you can see on the screen here, Roblox Gamer is back at it again. He joins the lobby. So this is from Okis's point of view. From the Stallions, they're down 157 to 237 on the black card. So 95% of the time here, the Falcons boys are going to get the win. But not every time, and Roblox Gamer connects. The game at this point is compromised. The Stallions boys have a good setup here, right? There's 46 seconds left on the clock. They're looking pretty good to hold this hill. So, you know, it's possible, not guaranteed, but it's very possible that they go on to hold this, get back to 237 to 200. And at that point, you do definitely have a game on your hands. So, let me share a couple of these clips. ZooMaa's talking about the FaZe admins before everything got even underway, and then he's also crashing out on that Falcons team with PaulEhx on, because he thinks it should have been a replay.
Alright, right, bro. Listen, bro, we got to talk about this. All right, the fucking FaZe admins, they're brain dead. They're smoking that grade A kush. They're smoking that fucking papaya yet again. These FaZe admins don't know what the fuck is going on. Yet again, they are lost in a fucking sauce, man. You know what I'm saying? Fucking B-Love, man. You guys know the story, right? Sabri talked to the team, talked to me. Sabri didn't want to play anymore. He wanted to take a step back, wanted to take some time for his mental health, take some time to reset. You know, take some time away from Call of Duty. That was the plan. Okay. All right. We reach out to the admins because they're telling us that we have to play with Sabri. But we reach out to the admins and we tell them the situation and we tell them what's going on. Okay. They tell us that it doesn't matter. Doesn't really fucking matter. We have to play. That's a big win. Oh, he's snapping.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Oh, he's flipping him. He might flip him with that.
One's that old, one's in the back. Oh, big win, big win. Oh my god, Doug.
Time on me, I need help.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, he should have played for the back. He should have played for the back, bro. They're spawning back here, though. They got they got to hold. They have to hold.
Doug is a pinch. Wait, they gotta wait.
Statue.
Wait.
Nice, dog.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
P1 and statue. I P1 watch statue. I P1 watch statue.
Oh my
Good
god.
comms. Good comms.
I P1. Nice. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go. Come the fuck on, Hy. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go, man. That's the fucking pick.
Oh shit.
Was that hot?
That was Hyde.
I got it on full screen, bro. I got you on full screen, Hy. Good shit.
Holy shit.
He said, they can't kill me.
They can't fucking kill me.
Alright, that's Stallions red.
Good break it.
I didn't lose a fucking gunfight to any of these shit stains, bro. Holy fuck. Sensu, you gotta get better at the game. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck all of you. Let's go. You gotta get better. You can't fucking gun me, bro. Fuck you.
I'm not even joking.
Fuck
I
you.
stacked streaks. I didn't even realize I stacked 2 streaks. I had another streak and I didn't know about it.
It would have been 237 to 200, Paulie going into the P1. 237 to 200 going into the P1. That's a game, Paulie. That's a fucking game.
You guys are assuming you guys are holding that.
We just got a 4 dead, Paulie.
Okay, I could go across the map in 2 seconds.
Man, you know what, Paulie? Fuck you, Paulie. Fuck you. Fuck everybody. Man, fuck this shit, man. Man, fuck this shit. Call the fucking admin. Call the fucking admin. Tell the admin to go fuck himself. Fuck y'all. Fuck the admins. Fuck everybody. Man, I don't give a fuck. Man, do whatever you want to do. Hold on, man.
Now, there's no bad blood at the end of this. ZooMaa says, look, you're a good man, Paul. It is what it is. But it's competition at the end of the day. And when you've got these kind of interesting situations where some maps are replayed because it's not so clear cut who was going to win, and then other maps because they got really close to winning, then it's like, well, probably we're just going to leave that as it is or whatever. It's yeah, it's a problem. It's something where I think the rules do try and account for it, but there's just never, unfortunately, a great solution here that's going to please all parties. In Counter-Strike, for example, the game is such that if there was a disconnect, if somebody joins the game or whatever, even if that's possible to do in CS really if you take the proper precautions. But the point is, that game can actually be reset to the moment, right? So you can spawn into Counter-Strike with the exact same conditions as was just before the crash. So you can just play, it's like back in the day in Call of Duty when the host would disconnect, right? And it would say searching for new host, connecting to new host, and then it would go 3, 2, 1 and the game would restart. Like, that's how it can work in CS. Whereas in COD, it's not like that, right? If something like this happens, you can't restore the game state. I think we have had the features in recent years to like pause the game between rounds of search, between rounds of control, but it's not something that you can do in Hardpoint, and until we have that feature, which we probably never will, then this is always going to be an issue. But at the end of it all, Huntsman, they qualified. So those are one of the key teams in the conversation. Let's talk about the other teams that qualified, because this is the other big story. Stallions Red, they dropped down. They lost to, I think, the Five Fears guys. They will play Fame's team in the losers bracket, and Stallions Black, they dropped down and they will play the Hitman team. If they both win those games, they will play one another, and only one of those teams therefore will have a chance to go on to qualify. So these are the 8 teams that made it last night. And Next Threat Black, that was the Diamond Con team that dropped Doug. Bit of drama there, but they did make it in the end. Omit Brooklyn, they made it pretty comfortably. Aluka, of course, on that team. The Five Fears team we just mentioned with Dylan Rex. Now, the Falcons Green roster as well. They've been looking pretty good lately. Roxas, QK, Asim, etc., etc. There was also, yeah, so this is another one, very notable, Bush Gaming. I'm sure many of you guys are wondering, what's going on with Bush? Did they make it? Did they not? Well, they're down to the losers bracket. They got upset by Phantom's team, Timmy Phantom's team, so they're in losers. And, well, some big games, right, coming up today, because Bush Gaming, they won the first cup, they didn't do great in the second cup, they were playing loads of Arc Raiders, the third cup they won it again. This is the important point, right? Turn up this week, qualify through the elite, you got to make it. But they got upset, and that means, and they were the #1 seed, they were expected to win this cup effectively, or win this elite qualifier. That's not how it's gone so far. So they're down in the losers, fighting for their life today. Timmy Phantom's team did go on to qualify. The Huntsmen, they made it as well. And the final two teams were the P7 team with Geo Awakening, and those guys, 2 real and newly, and then RCT's PaulEhx, Priester, and King of Body. That's the Falcons Academy white team that was in some of that Stallions drama that we discussed. So anyway, that's what it looks like going into this final day. There's more entertainment, I'm sure, to come. Very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Right, close, right, close, right.
Nice.
Ah, let's go,
Let's
baby.
fucking go, boys. Let's fucking go,
Oh, that's
man.
a fucking Kips takeover,
Let's
bro.
fucking go, Kips.
Ah! Ah!
Let's fucking go, boys.
You might be back with Merc soon, playing like that.
Oh, so bad.